Can I tell you a story? But before I begin, allow me to say this first. University is not a place for a man whose faith in God is not solid and can change according to the state of matters. But before him, university is not a place for a man who lacks or knows nothing at all about his body's hormones. University can be a place where boys want to act as men. A long time ago, when my hand was being taught how to implement words on paper through pencil, I met him, Danny. Needless to say, we were in the same class, and it does not take a genius for you to see that he was not fluent in the art of writing. So I was like, bro, chill. If you make a mistake, you can simply erase it. And he was like, nah, I own my mistakes. And he thought he was cool. To be honest, I thought so too, because the reply he gave was not only tough, it actually sounded meaningful. But as time grew past, we advanced to new levels. We took out the saw, and now we began to implement words on paper through pen. And it does not take a genius for you to see that he was not fluent in the art of writing. So I was like, bruh, chill. Write the word in pencil first, and if you actually write it right, trace it through using pen, and then erase the stencil part out. And he was like, nah, I own my mistakes. I guess you were never really a fan of erasers, so I guess that's why I was not surprised when you told me that you two came together, but you did not choose rubber. But when she told you that she was pregnant with daughter, I wonder why the first thing that came to your head was to erase her. You see, this all began the day that Danny stepped foot into university. Unlike primary, Danny and I were not acquaintances of the same class, and time did a number or two on our friendship because we were not that close. So the only times we actually talked was when we exchanged pleasantries, the times when we tried to catch up on the highlights of the past seasons in each other's lives. But I remember that day. Or to woe, if I could say, it was Friday, and no one wants to have class on Friday. I remember sitting in class, my feet were tapping the floor, synchronizing with the movement of the clock's hands. My eyes were hoping that the teacher could see the message that I was trying to portray to her. I hoped that she could see the craving I had for class to end. I waited for the hours there to say hello to one, and when class was done, I packed my books and then prayed. I found my way down the steps all the way to the entrance. My feet began to walk at the pace of my heartbeat, breath by breath, breath by breath, breath by breath. I began to take in what was the weekend. As I walked through the doors, my eyes unraveled themselves to the sight that was campus. I began to make my way to my room, and as I did, I saw you, Danny. I could have walked away, but my peace of mind told me it was not going to be okay if I did. So I began approaching you, and as I did, I saw that you had already planted your headsets to your ears. I could tell that you were about to press play to symphonic melodies that your ears were about to embark on. I could tell that you were about to press play to symphonic melodies that your ears were about to embark on. But before you did, I saw you look back as if in the ocean of sound you heard someone call you. You see, all this was happening while I was approaching you. You looked back, and the next thing I saw was you with the girl. By now I slowed down my steps, and I began to think, should I walk away? I know I can come back and say hey tomorrow, but I also can't just stay. So I watched you as you began to engage in conversation with this pretty girl. I must say, like, I wouldn't mind talking to her myself. So I watched you as you began to talk. I was sure that this was going to end like that, but I was surprised when you two began to make your way to your room. Your movements ignited mine. As you walked, I walked. As you stopped to laugh, I stopped but did not laugh. But I'm sure that there was something here. I'm not sure if it's the way you looked at her when she smiled or the way she smiled when she looked at you, but I'm pretty sure that there was something here. And sadly, my narration of the story ends here because I could not follow you when you two made your way to your room. So I made way to mine. And forgive me for I have a tendency to overthink things, so I'm sorry if I did that with you. But the next day I approached you, Danny, and I was like, except, how are you doing, man? It's been a long time, what's up? And you were like, I've been fine, man. School is just becoming complicated, and I was like, the feeling is mutual. In effort to try and skip the pleasantries, I went straight to the question at hand. I was like, boy, yesterday I saw you talking to some girl, and I'm sure you know her, but I don't. And you were like, yeah, man, her name is Jessica. Actually, we have been friends for like a while now. We met when I was doing tuitions. Back then I had like a thing for her, but sadly I don't think she felt the same way or had like a thing for me. So when she told me that she had been here for like a month, I was surprised that I did not see her, man. So we made way to my room. I thank God my room was clean. So we walked in. I put my bag on my bed. I told her that she could sit on the bed. I sat on the chair. To be honest, I did this because I felt comfortable sitting next to her on the bed. That's what Danny told me. But he said that as they began to talk, he began to remember why he liked her. As they began to talk, he began to remember the things that he saw in her. So Danny let his guard down. Told himself that I am a man and I can control myself. Like, honestly, like nothing can take hold of me. So Danny let his guard down. So when she called him to see something on her phone, I guess the action of him sitting next to her was far greater than the thought of maintaining his boundaries. You see, the funny part is what, when the video was done, I wonder why Danny did not leave. I wonder why he chose to cement a new position. You see, Danny looked at her, and as she looked at him, he looked away. But she looked at him, and as Danny looked at her, she looked away. But this time, Danny still looked. And as she looked back, this time they both looked at each other. I guess the kiss was just a trailer that left you wanting for more. I guess the kiss was just a trailer that left you wanting for more. I guess by now this is the part of the story where I will be like, before anything happened, Danny came back to his senses and God showed him that what he was about to do was wrong, and Danny came back and stopped everything before anything went anywhere. But sadly, this is not that story. Danny should have stopped. In fact, both of them should have stopped. Both of them should have seen the signs. Both of them should have seen the signs. But I guess they felt they were in too deep to stop, so they moved on. Danny and Jessica had sex that day. You see, something beautiful experienced at the wrong time can only be seen as a bad experience. And a gift opened at the wrong time can only be seen as an accident. Both of them should have seen the signs. Both of them should have stopped. Both of them should have seen that they were going the wrong way. Both of them should have stopped. Danny, you should have stopped.